Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Book Notification Podcast, your go-to source for this week's new book releases. Today, we're looking at the week of April 21st to the 27th. It's the final full week of April, with over 350 new books releasing this week. So there is no way we could cover them all. Visit booknotification.com to explore the full list of this week's new books. You can also follow your favorite authors, so you'll be the first to know when their next book is available. As always, we have 10 books to highlight with a little something for everybody. Let's get into it. From New York Times bestselling author Marina Adair comes Love to Hate You, a modern twist on You've Got Mail, starring an indie bookstore owner looking for true love and a cynical CEO who may ruin everything. Summer Russo believes in the power of destiny and true love, which might be why she sank her entire life savings into reviving a nearly bankrupt independent bookstore that specializes in romance novels and beach reads. But just as she starts to get the hang of the new business, a big box bookstore moves in next door, run by the grumpy and arrogant Kingston, who seems determined to ruin her day and her livelihood. Wes Kingston is a cutthroat CEO who doesn't believe in love or failure. He runs his business the way he runs his life, alone. And he isn't going to let a fiery femme fatale take him down, especially when she is dead set on stopping the opening of his new bookstore. At least Summer has her family's annual vacation in Mystic, Connecticut to look forward to as a break from the standoff. But when she arrives at the beachside cabin, she realizes that her usual summer respite may not be so carefree after all. Her sister has brought along not only her boyfriend, but his brother, who just so happens to be the very same surly but infuriatingly sexy bookstore mogul Summer thought she was getting away from. The bookstore war is still on, and neither Summer nor Kingston will go down without a fight. But when one thing leads to another, and fighting turns to foreplay, both find themselves stuck in a battle for the bookstore and for their hearts. Love to Hate You comes out on April 22nd. The Iron Fleet series by Daniel Gibbs continues with Intervention. Peace was only an illusion. Terrorist attacks have determined the CDF fleet in the Orient Spur, and reinforcements are hung up by the new administration's pacifist politics. Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Hanson and the CSV Margaret Thatcher are left in a nightmare scenario. They are on their own. Amid the power plays, word reaches him of a mass hostage situation. Arthur resorts to any means necessary to discover their location, even under the threat of mutiny and court-martial. But with few coalition ships left in the spur, any rescue mission is doomed to fail. But he won't leave innocents to a fate worse than death. Unwilling to turn aside, Arthur and the special forces under his command execute a hastily planned op worthy of their namesake ship. But the clock is ticking. They'll have to pull out all the stops to free the hostages and halt Armageddon before their time runs out. Intervention will be released on April 21st. The Case of the Washed Up Corpse is the first in a new 1920s cozy mystery series by Tam May. Three sisters couldn't be more different, but they share one thing in common: a taste for crime. It's 1921, and Americans are still reeling from the effects of World War I. In Guyver, California, on the California-Nevada border, three sisters own the only funeral home in town. The eldest, Eve, takes care of the administration and accounting. Middle sister Helena uses her scientific and medical knowledge for the more hands-on side of the business. And 18-year-old Violet, the youngest, skirts the edge of a flapper lifestyle, preferring parties and jazz to funeral services and burials. Then, Guyver County's newly appointed district attorney asks for their assistance, identifying the body of a young woman found along a remote part of the river At first, the police think it's suicide, only it isn't. It's murder. As far as the sisters are concerned, murder is police business. Their business is to see the dead are laid to rest. But District Attorney Olive Clark needs their help, and they can't say no. What follows is a twisted tale with only a few clues to help untangle it. A missing engagement ring, a piece of rope, and a torn lapel. Will Eve and her sisters succeed in bringing justice to a dead, innocent young woman? From the author of the Adele Gosling Mysteries comes a new series set in the tumultuous early years of the Jazz Age. Follow the adventures of three sisters who battle life and death in a nation moving into the modern age faster than it can handle. Check out The Case of the Washed Up Corpse on April 26th. New York Times best-selling author and beloved Nantucket storyteller Nancy Thayer returns with Summer Light on Nantucket. Blythe Benedict is content. Her life didn't end when her marriage did. In fact, she's more than happy living in her comfortable house in Boston, working as a middle school teacher, and raising 4 wonderful children. With 3 of her kids in the throes of teenagerhood and 1 not too far behind them, Blythe has plenty of drama to keep her busy every single day. But no amount of that drama could change the family's beloved annual summer trip to Nantucket. Blythe has always treasured the months spent at her island home away from home, and has fond memories of her children growing up there. But this summer's getaway proves to be much more than she bargained for. Yes, there are sunny days enjoyed at the beach, but Blythe must contend with teenage angst, her ex-mother-in-law's declining health, and a troubling secret involving her ex-husband. Meanwhile, Blythe reconnects with her first love, her former high school sweetheart, Aiden. But their second time around romance becomes complicated when another intriguing man enters the picture. It's all a bit out of Blythe's comfort zone. This particular island summer may not be as relaxing as Blythe had hoped, but she's never felt that life has given her more than she can handle, especially when she has the love and support of her family around her. See The Summer Light on Nantucket on April 22nd. Afterlife, Inc. is a lighthearted look at the business of death by A.M. Riley. What if the afterlife was a corporate affair where even death has a desk job? Death runs a tight ship at Afterlife, Inc., where every soul is sorted, stamped, and dispatched to their eternal fate with ruthless efficiency. But when Rosie Randall, a spirited young woman, arrives under unusual circumstances and starts asking questions, the cracks in the system begin to show. Rosie isn't like the other souls. She's clever, curious, and remarkably resistant to Afterlife's unyielding bureaucracy. Even more unsettling, she forces Death to question the arbitrary nature of his job and the entire cosmic order. Why do some souls face justice while others slip through the cracks? And what if everything Death believes about his role is a lie? As Rosie defies the rules of life and death, Death embarks on a journey that could undermine the very foundation of the afterlife. Will he dig in and maintain the balance of the universe, or risk everything to upset the astral apple cart? Blending dark humor, absurd bureaucracy, and supernatural satire, Afterlife, Inc. is perfect for fans of Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams, and Christopher Moore. Get your look at Afterlife, Inc. on April 23rd. Highland Heat is the first in a new Scottish historical romance series by USA Today bestselling author Kirsten Osbourne. In a world where men dominate, a woman steps forward as a warrior. Fiona McAfee is a proud warrior, able to outshoot any man she has ever met. When the opportunity arises for her to demonstrate her skill at the Highland Games, she happily agrees. Alistair MacLean is the eldest son of a laird, yet he knows he won't be laird himself. When he spots Fiona at the Highland Games, he knows he wants to be her husband, and not simply because it would allow him to be Laird of Glan McAfee. After Fiona is kidnapped while in his care, her father rescinds his agreement for their courting. The two must find one another and regain his approval, but he isn't even certain such a thing is possible. Find your Highland heart on April 27th. The Summer I Ate the Rich by Maika Moulite and Maritza Moulite is a smart, biting novel exploring what happens when a Haitian-American girl uses her previously hidden zombie abilities to exact revenge on the wealthy elites who've caused her family pain. Brielle Petitfort loves to cook, but with a chronically sick mother and bills to pay, becoming a chef isn't exactly a realistic career path. When Brielle's mom suddenly loses her job, Brielle steps in and uses her culinary skills to earn some extra money. The rich families who love her cooking praise her use of unique flavors and textures, which keep everyone guessing what's in Brielle's dishes. The secret ingredient? Human flesh. Written by the storytelling duo, The Summer I Ate the Rich is a modern-day fable inspired by Haitian zombie lore that scrutinizes the socioeconomic and racial inequity that is the foundation of our society. Just like Brielle's clients, it will have you asking, what's for dinner? The Summer I Ate the Rich begins on April 22nd. Major Bricket and the Circus Corpse is the first in a new cozy crime series by Simon Brett. Introducing a new, but not so amateur, sleuth from another peaceful English village with an alarmingly high death rate. Meet Major Bricket, an infrequent resident of Highfield House in Stunson Peveril, Suffolk. In the past, the Major's work assignments, frequently in foreign countries, have prevented him from spending much time there, and as a result, there is an air of mystery around him while everyone in the village speculates on the nature of his occupation. But now the Major has retired and has come home for good in his open-topped little red sports car. And what a homecoming it is. For lying spread-eagled on his lawn in the summer sunshine is the corpse of a clown. The circus is in Stunson Peveril for the annual village fair, yet none of their quota of clowns is missing, or at least nobody is saying. Could the body be that of an unfortunate early guest at the village's highlight of the social calendar, the Fincham Abbey Costume Ball? Fortunately, Major Brisket's past clandestine career means that he is now very well placed to solve the mystery of the dead clown on his chamomile lawn. The Major Bricket Mystery series begins with Major Bricket and the Circus Corpse on April 24th. Sloth, the Fallen Earl, is the fourth book in the Seven Deadly Sins series by USA Today bestselling author Christi Caldwell. A ruined lady, a reluctant lord, one scandalous night that changes everything. Miss Cressida Albee has spent her life as a mere shadow in society, a poor country squire's daughter with no prospects and even less hope. But nothing could have prepared her for the night she's put up for auction at the Devil's Den. Just when she believes all is lost, salvation comes in the form of Benedict Adamson, the Earl of Wakefield, the very man she secretly adored from afar. Wakefield is a man of honor, a gentleman bound by duty and the need to restore his family's tarnished name. A reckless moment of defiance, one night with Cressida, changes everything. Now he must choose between the life he's meticulously built and the woman who has unwittingly captured his heart. Can love defy society's expectations, or will their forbidden passion be nothing more than a fleeting dream? Find out in Sloth, the Fallen Earl, on April 25th. Finally, our last book of the day is the latest in the DCI Evan Warlow series, One Less Snake by Rhys Dillon. Even sleepy, picturesque coastal towns have their secrets. Welcome to Solva, where a burned-out car, a corpse, and a hauntingly precise execution greets a morning walker. DCI Evan Warlow faces a case steeped in fear and the worst of modern crimes. As clues lead him down twisting trails, Warlow must confront not only the killer's identity, but also the lingering echoes of the community's darkest sins and the intersection of power, revenge, and justice. Check out One Less Snake, the edge of your seat crime fiction thriller on April 22nd. That's our 10 books for this week. Until next time, you can check out booknotification.com. Book Notification offers an easy way to track your reading lists, follow your favorite authors, and never miss a new release. Our website is completely free to use, and it's packed with features to make your reading life easier. You can follow your favorite authors and get notified whenever they release new books. We send out an email every Tuesday with a list of fresh releases from the authors you love, but that's not all. You can track your reading progress, mark books as read, rate and review them, and even import your data from Goodreads, Calibre, Libby, and more. Want to discover something new? Check out Reader's Roulette for book recommendations, or use our personalized book release calendar to stay up to date with the latest titles. You can even tag books with custom labels, just like on Goodreads shelves, and get tailored recommendations for what to read next based on your current book. Whether you're looking for books in publication or want to see them listed in chronological order, we've got it covered. Plus, all of our authors are audited by real people, so you know the information is accurate. So why not give it a try and join the thousands of readers already using our site to stay on top of their reading game. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back next week with another 10 books.